Every story needs support characters. They are the ones who elevate the plot and interact with the main protagonist, leading to the plot's development. But Reigen Arataka isn't a traditional support character, and his importance to the story of Mob Psycho 100 is critical. The way Reigen's character is constructed, you get a sense of unshakable charisma and a grandiose demeanor. His way with words, his movements, the way he perceives the world and himself, and his effect on other people are what makes him who he is. It allows him to deal with problems in unorthodox ways and always with full confidence. Although he was initially presented as a con artist who takes advantage of people's trouble for personal gain, Reigen is shown to legitimately care about Mob and the clients he performs jobs for. Reigen always wants to make sure that clients leave happier and satisfied with the job. He tries to give his clients peace of mind and goes out of his way to help them with their issues doing a job, regardless if it is unpleasant or difficult. The most important thing for him is that he gets paid and that his client is happy. And despite him having a lot of confidence and strong beliefs, he doesn't become arrogant and never thinks he's above anyone else. The same advice he gives Mob, he applies to himself as well. Reigen, being a con artist, he understands people, and when they are trying to fool others, for example, when someone is trying to take advantage of Mob by having him pay for a vase that happens to break, Reigen is quickly able to understand what is going on and turn the situation around. As a result, Reigen understands the distinction between being shady and using one's power to hurt. He doesn't hurt others when he deceives them. This is especially important in the last arc of Season 1 in Claw's hideout. After infiltrating the base and meeting many of its members, he quickly understands that they are a bunch of children who never grew up, trying to deceive and take charge of malleable, trusting teenagers. Thus, he takes it upon himself to liberate these teenagers in hopes that they will make it to the top the right way, by their own doing, and transform society. Looking further into this concept of deception and the liars within Mob Psycho is rife with institutions that have deception baked into their foundations. You have the Claw Organization, Dimple's Cult, the Awakening Lab, school gangs, the Telepathy Club. A constant theme is one of organizations, communities, and society in general being out there to swindle you. And Reigen's outlook believes that everyone is trying to swindle everyone in some form or another. But at least in his own eyes, spirits and such makes people happy, and does so at a very low cost. Their clients are satisfied and overjoyed when spirits no longer haunt them. Reigen isn't interested in hurting individuals or the community with his business, so he compares his practices to others and he finds his own to be harmless in nature. Another major theme in Mob Psycho 100 is coming of age and adolescence. Mob struggles to fit in and he hopes to improve himself. This makes Reigen his perfect partner to bounce off of each other. He makes up for what Mob lacks and is a great mentor. Their relationship grows throughout the series and amounts to an emotional journey. Reigen is so important to Mob because he was the first person to truly listen to him and understand him without being afraid or envious of his psychic powers. The show manages to show how effective Reigen's mentorship is. Mob's powers are inherently tied to his emotions, and Reigen claims to be helping him control his powers. Reigen is then in effect guiding Mob toward a reality where he has better control over his emotions. This includes learning how to stand up for himself and formulate his own beliefs, and this is exactly what Mob does when he leaves Reigen. As a result, Mob ends up defining himself throughout the show and even formulating his own opinion about Reigen, and that is that he is a genuinely good guy. Reigen, for the most part, has guided Mob in the right direction in regards to his powers, but he has also undoubtedly taken advantage of Mob and his ability to deal with spirits, calling him without warning and expecting him to be present. He takes Mob for granted at times, and because of that, Mob goes through more growth and is able to learn how to stand on his own 2 feet away from Reigen. Furthermore, one aspect I love about Reigen is that he breaks the norms set by other teacher figures. He doesn't say what most other teacher figures say, rather he does the opposite. He constantly tells Mob to run away when he's unable to fight, and that it's okay not to engage in a fight. He essentially tells Mob it's okay not to associate his powers with the need to fight, and that running away is okay. He encourages Mob to have fun, not to use his power, and to give it a rest. Rather than teaching him to reach his full potential through practice, Reigen tries to teach Mob to simply use his power when absolutely needed and for the right cause. He constantly reminds Mob not to rely on his power, wanting Mob to realize his own potential without an external power, and to develop himself away from his power. Characters like Ritsu and Teruki's lack of a mentor was the large contributor to why they became drunk with power and they were unable to reach their own potential. In addition, the dichotomy between Reigen and Mob is highlighted in the two seasons. In season 1, we see Mob struggles, while in season 2, we see him rise and go through considerable character growth. On the other hand, Reigen is highlighted in the first season and almost seems larger than life, while in the second, we see his more vulnerable side and insecurities. But ultimately, the conclusion they both come to is the message of the show in trying to improve oneself continuously, step by step, a la the Body Improvement Club. Reigen is just as essential to the series' success as Mob is. He is the perfect supporting character. Even with no psychic powers, he has the ability to see the big picture and is a good strategist. He's able to talk his way out of anything. Most importantly, despite being a hack, he's a truly good person. And to leave you off with my favorite quote from Reigen: "Why do you have to be like them? You're the protagonist of your own life, aren't you?"